So when it comes down to um, setting the appointment, and then once the appointment is set, they show up. Once they show up, you're on your sales call. The thing that you have to understand about these sales calls is uh, the amount of value that you give them and the perception of value. Whenever they talk to you, most people who you talk to already have an idea about how much this is going to cost. So, for example, let's say that you're selling a 12-week program and it's a fitness program or something. And let's say that the cost of the 12-week program is $1,000. Whenever they are talking to you, if they don't understand exactly what the program is, they don't understand exactly what you're going to give them. So therefore, they have already a little bit of an idea of how much they're willing to spend for something that they don't yet understand. Um, so whenever you're talking to them, they let's say that they think the program is going to cost $200. If you don't give them enough value on the sales call, and even if you do, um, whenever you present to them the price, it's going to be too expensive because their perception of the program was $200, but your program is $1,000. So how do you fix that so that you can help elevate their level of thinking that the program is actually going to cost more than $200? Or that breaks it down to a few things. Everybody does it different. Everybody does it in a way to make it work or not work. But what I, over the years, have done this. Um, right when I'm talking to them, I'm wanting to understand exactly where I am in the sales conversation. So I might ask them, uh, you know, based on this 12-week program that you took interest in, how much do you believe this is going to cost? How much do you believe you're going to have to spend uh, to do this program? And if they tell me $2,000, then I know that it's a win because it's only $1,000. If they tell me $200, then I know that I'm going to have to give them a lot more value in order for them to perceive this is more than $1,000 so that they can see that it's a good deal, a good investment. So I might give them a whole bunch of value. You're going to, not only when you sign up to, you're going to get this, you're also going to get this right over here, which is valued at $400. Normally people sell this for $400. You're also going to get this over here, which is valued at $600. Normally people sell it for that. You're also going to get this over here, which is valued at 100. This over here, which is valued at 50. This over here, which is valued at 600. This over here, that's valued at 500. If you add all of these together, they're all going to value up to about $4,000. People spend this much in order to seek results that they're wanting to seek. Now, I know that this is more than what you expected, but this is the reality of how much qualified quality programs like this cost. If Let's go back to what you want. Um, are you willing and able? Would you believe that? Would you really be willing to spend this much into getting the results that you want? Is it worth that to you? And that's another way. Based on all of the information that I've given you, how important is this to you into getting the result that you want? Is it important enough for you that most people who say that this is real serious, they're more than willing to pay for them to get these results? And then say some people are, some people still are going to say, honestly, um, I'm going to have to consider it because it's actually way over my budget. And then that's where you can obviously factor into them what type of plan. So the objective is if your program costs $1,000, for example, you need to perceive that the program is going to be $3,000 or $4,000 in order for that to be an affordable $1,000, if that makes sense. Because if you don't, it's always going to be too expensive. And whenever they say it's too expensive, it don't mean it's too expensive. It means it's either out of their budget or it's much more than what they were willing to pay. Some good things to do before you get on the sales calls to our funnels is a few things. Number one, as you can see right here, we're running a quiz funnel. So we're asking them some basic questions that's going to lead them up into a sales conversation. These questions are intended for them, are intended for us to understand more about them, but it's also more importantly intended for us to, it's also intended for us to, it's intended for them to understand what we deliver. Because you see, whenever we run funnels and pages and stuff, there's only a small percentage of people who read everything, and some people just don't. But therefore, if you formulate your funnel, your landing page into a question, that means the consumption rate is higher. In order for them to understand how to answer a question, they have to read it. So therefore, your consumption rates is much, much, much more higher. The quality of traffic that goes through the funnel is also higher. Whenever we run a quiz funnel, like for this one, for example, we can ask them just a series of questions, and then we might ask a question like this. If we have a high conversion rate on the quiz funnel, then we might keep it like where it's at and then add an application. If we have a low conversion rate on the quiz funnel, we might kind of keep the quiz funnel simple to only 2 or 3 questions that lead to an application. Because we take micro commitment steps at first, micro commitment step at first, micro commitment step until macro commitment. That leads us to getting more macro commitments versus just on the front end. So in order to put, if we don't want to put a question like this in, if we're getting um, a lot of traffic that is financially unqualified, what we may do to the funnel is instead of doing a quiz page to a booking page, we might drop a couple of more questions off of this and then create an application page under that, over that step, which was asking them more in detail. Instead of them selecting things, they'd have to type it. And that'll help us get a more better quality applicant. That's what it is an applicant. They're applying to be a part of our program. They're applying to be a client. Once they fill out the application, then they go back to the booking page. So we're just eliminating that step. Now, if you have a redefined sales process and it's legit, it's solid, then you wouldn't need that step. Honestly, a page to a booking page is all you need because our number one priority is getting them on the phone. Now, if you have a problem with selling and you're not comfortable with selling, then you need to add as many questions as possible to acquire a someone who's easier to sell. And that way, whenever you get them into this funnel, application page to a booking page to a thank you page, the quality of your traffic that's going to be is much more higher. You just have to make sure that you present your program in a different way that is going to help you succeed in your sale. Now, on that sales call, in general, you need to be using a sales script. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. However, some people still don't use scripts. The reason you want to use a sales script is not because you can't sell, it's because you always can sell better. And when you format a script, you will be able to modify it and modify it and modify it so that it's at its peak of converting the highest percentage of leads possible. Not only that, you'll also be able to duplicate it into a format to where you can use it, deliver it to a sales team who can inevitably sell for you. I believe that if you do format a sales script, You've got to be flexible enough to create multiple versions of that sales script. Not everybody is the same, and you can't sell to one person the same way you sell to a lady named Roxanne who has a heart condition, and she is very skeptical about your program because she's tried thousands of things before that didn't work. You've got to create versions of sales scripts to match each one of these avatars. That way, whenever you talk to them, it'll be a lot more obviously easier for you to sell them. So, with that being said, um, what I have in this video under this link is a sales script that I've gotten from someone, and I think it's a really good baseline sales script to start with. However, you need to use it and modify it to what is going to work for you. But download it below and then let me know how it works out for you.